Unseen, unrelenting, drones, once a futuristic concept, are now at the center of modern warfare. They gather intelligence, hunt high-value targets, and strike from the sky with pinpoint accuracy. From the deserts of the Middle East to the trenches of Eastern Europe, drones have revolutionized how wars are fought. This is the story of drones in modern warfare, their past, present, and future. The idea of unmanned aircraft isn't new. In fact, early concepts date back to World War I, with pilotless biplanes and radio-controlled targets. But it wasn't until the late 20th century that drone technology began to resemble what we see today. The Cold War saw increased interest in remotely piloted vehicles. The US developed surveillance drones like the Ryan Firebee, and later, more advanced systems like the Lockheed D-21. These early drones were limited in range, control, and payload, but they laid the foundation. In the 1990s, breakthroughs in satellite communications, lightweight materials, and digital sensors sparked a drone renaissance. The US military introduced the RQ-1 Predator, which started out as a reconnaissance platform, but would soon carry weapons. When the Predator launched its first Hellfire missile in 2001, the game changed forever. Drones were no longer just eyes in the sky, they became hunters. The post-9/11 era was the launching pad for armed drones. The United States began deploying MQ-1 Predators and later MQ-9 Reapers to hunt terrorists in remote, often inaccessible regions like the mountains of Afghanistan and Pakistan. Armed with Hellfire missiles and high-resolution cameras, these drones became both hunter and executioner, offering persistent surveillance and surgical strikes. No longer did commanders have to wait for the right weather, airspace clearance, or proximity of manned aircraft. The drone could loiter for hours, tracking a high-value target and striking at the perfect moment. Critics called it remote-controlled assassination. Supporters called it a necessary evolution in asymmetrical warfare. Either way, the impact was undeniable. Drones enabled the US to take out key al-Qaeda and Taliban leaders, including the targeted killing of Anwar al-Awlaki in Yemen in 2011. They reduced risk to American pilots and provided real-time intelligence for troops on the ground. But the technology didn't stop at large. Air Force-operated drones, smaller tactical drones like the RQ-11 Raven, became common among infantry units, giving them a bird's-eye view of enemy positions, IED threats, or upcoming ambushes. From al-Qaeda leaders in the mountains of Pakistan to ISIS convoys in the deserts of Syria, drone warfare became synonymous with modern counterterrorism. If the war on terror introduced the world to drone warfare, the Ukraine-Russia war exploded its potential. Suddenly, drones weren't just expensive tools used by major powers. They became accessible, cheap, and absolutely everywhere. On both sides of the conflict, drones are playing a central role. Surveillance drones identify enemy positions. Kamikaze drones strike tanks and trench lines. Commercial quadcopters, originally built for hobbyists, have been rigged with grenades and explosives, dropped with terrifying precision into foxholes and vehicle hatches. Ukraine's use of Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2s became a symbol of early resistance, knocking out Russian tanks, convoys, and even naval targets. But perhaps more revolutionary was the scale and affordability. Off-the-shelf drones costing under $1,000 are now used in swarm tactics, battlefield recon, and one-way suicide missions. What once required millions of dollars and trained pilots now fits in a backpack and is flown by volunteers. Russia and Ukraine are engaged in a technological arms race, jamming signals, adapting defenses, and deploying new drone variants constantly. The war has shown the world that dominance in the sky no longer requires fighter jets. It can be achieved with a swarm of plastic propellers and some clever coding. So, where does this all lead? First, expect automation and AI to play a much larger role. Future drones will be able to navigate, target, and strike without direct human control, responding to battlefield conditions in real time. The ethical implications are massive, but the technology is inevitable. Second, we'll see drone swarms, groups of small, cooperative drones working together to overwhelm defenses, share intelligence, and attack multiple targets at once. They're already in development and will likely be operational within the next decade. Third, Drones won't be limited to the air. Ground-based and naval drones are rapidly advancing. From unmanned tanks to torpedo-equipped surface vessels, the entire battlefield is being automated. Finally, counter-drone technologies will grow in importance. From signal jamming and lasers to drone-on-drone dogfights, militaries are scrambling to find ways to defend against this new form of warfare. Drones have fundamentally changed how wars are fought. They've brought the battlefield into the digital age, where intelligence, precision, and speed matter more than ever. From the deserts of Afghanistan to the front lines of Ukraine, UAVs have become eyes in the sky, silent hunters, and sometimes lifesavers. But as the technology becomes cheaper and more widespread, the lines between soldier and civilian, combat zone and home front continue to blur. The era of drone warfare has only just begun. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what military tech you want us to cover next.